Alright guys, welcome back to another exciting tutorial. I'm pressing F12 right now, or Ctrl Shift I. The reason why I'm doing that is that I just want to log in into the console so that we'll have that display right. Okay, if it is not working, you can probably press Ctrl Shift I or F12. So well, I'm pressing Ctrl Shift I or F12 so you to be able to log in into the console. Okay, we are moving forward. Let's get a party started. Alright, okay, now we're there, so we can reload and probably clear the console. So we have it in there. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to minimize this. I'm going to place that side by side. So let me close the welcome. I have my sandbox. So this is chapter 3. So what I want to do right now is I want to dive into variables, constant, and comments. So let me start with comments. Whatsoever you want to write as a code, you need to comment it so that whenever any programmer is actually reading it, they will understand your code. So what is comment in programming in JavaScript? So comment is that thing that you write on your file and is not executing, but actually explaining what your code is all about. So now how are you going to write? You can see I typed / 2 times. Let me show you another thing. / plus star. Let me add star. Okay. And I click on enter like 3 times. I type star and I actually end it with what? Another / So this is a comment and this is a comment. So this is single comment, this is double comment. So if you want to write a lot of things in there that is more than one line, you can do it there. And if you want it to be a single line, you can do it there. So the first thing we will explain, like I said, we want to deal with variable, constant, and comments. I think I have to write comment in there so that you understand what I'm trying to say. And comment, variable, constant, and comments. Okay, what is variables? What are variables? What are comments? Variable, constant, and comments. Okay, comments. Okay, so by the time you just save this, and automatically it's going to save on sandbox, and by the time you save it, it's going to be saved. Okay, so right now variables are those sack that you create. I will call it a space that you create specially for you to store data. So whichever data you are storing, you want to probably use it probably in the code. So anytime you think of storing something that you want to use later, you think of variable. So how can you declare a variable and JavaScript? So let me say declare. You can see by the time I'm typing it, that means I'm commenting what code I want to write. Declaring a variable. So declaring a variable means creating a variable. You know what I mean? All right, creating a variable. All right, variable. Okay, so how can you create a variable? You use something they call let. So let is a keyword that anytime JavaScript says it, JavaScript will understand that you are creating a variable. So let me call it h. So the moment you create a variable, you might give it a value and you might not give it a value. Let's assume I want to give it a value of 12. So if you don't want to give it a value, use equal sign. So 12 is the value. Okay, so let's terminate with a semicolon. If I want to display this thing in the console, that means I want to log into the console. I want to log this variable inside this particular console. So how am I going to do that? This is pretty awesome. So I'll just say, oh fine, since I want to log into the console, I'm going to say console.log. Okay, so by the time I do that, I'll open and close bracket and I'll ensure that I terminate. So inside this particular open and close bracket, I might have a single quote or double quote, but because I'm not using words, I will just type it like that. I'm using a variable. So the moment I save it, you can see sandbox 12 is there. So this is it. Because I'm needing this particular variable that has stored 12 for me, I just call that variable and 12 is actually appearing. So basically that is what it means. So let's say for instance now I want to create another variable. I want to say let's year be equals to 2021. Okay, so anytime I save it, I can actually log this year inside this particular H console. I will just say probably comma and I will say year. So by the time I do that, I'm saving it and it's going to actually appear. That is pretty awesome. All right, good. So now these ways of creating variable can be override. What I mean by override, you can decide to override the age and put another value. So you can see age is equals to, let me say 40, okay, or 60. This is too old. All right, by the time I do that, I say console.log. Let me log into the console.log. I think I like that. Console.log and open and close bracket. I terminate with the semicolon. I terminate with semicolon. And I don't know why my keyboard is acting funny. All right. And yeah, I just say age again. So by the time you do this, you can see the age has been overridden to 60, despite the fact that it's the same name. So this is the weakness of using let as a way of creating a variable. So what if you don't want to override that particular variable? Imagine you are in your undergraduate level and they give you a matriculation number. That matriculation number is not going to change regardless of whatever is happening in the school. So now if you want some values to be used in your application and you don't want them to change, that means you are going to use another keyword or const. So imagine I use const as the keyword, and I say what else? Let me see. What else? Let me say name. Okay, and I say the name is equals to, because this is string, this is words, I have to put with input. Fash, the tech guy, I love tech guy. All right, let's terminate the semicolon, and here I want to log that into the console. Imagine if I want to actually comment this. I don't want it to work. Why am I going to do that? I just have to cut this and I'm actually going to put it inside this place. It's not going to work because I've commented. That is the function of comment. So now what I want to do now is that I want to make sure that this particular name, I want to log in into the console. Okay, so I will say console.log. Okay, so by the time I do that, because this is name is a variable cannot be in string. Variable will always be on its own. It's going to display this name for us. Okay, let's save it and let's voila, Fash Tech Guy is actually displaying. All right, so now what I'm going to do is that my name, let me just use my name. Okay, use my name. Okay, all right, good. So another thing is that let's now say, for instance, I want to override this name. I just say name is equals to query. So now by the time I do this, let's say my name again. Sorry, I'm using this name again. I'm using this name again. If I want to log this thing into the console, I'm going to receive an error that this particular name cannot be used because it is a constant. Let's see what's going to happen. Console.log, and because it's a variable, I won't put it in a string. Okay, let's terminate with the semicolon and let's load this. You can see uncaught error, assignment to constant variable at. So that means anytime you want to assign a value and you don't want that value to change, use const. Anytime you want to assign a value and you know that probably later in the future that value will change, use let. And anytime you want to comment, to just write something that will make you understand your code very well, use comment. And we have two types of comment. We have the single and the multi-line comment or double comment or whatever you call it. So this is the one. If you want to have some kind of lines and you want it to be enclosed and so that the code is not going to display, and you can also have this as a single line. All right, declaring, I think that's don't mind me. All right, declaring a variable. All right, well, let's make life easy. I don't want to see this red, it hurt my eyes. I think I have to go back and I have to remove this. And I want my name to be displayed. Okay, this is just an explanation of why constant is being used. Okay, Fash Tech Guy is back. Okay, so we've successfully understand the concept of variable, we've understand the concept of constant, we've understand the concept of comments. Hope you really enjoyed this piece of information, and I can't wait to have you in the next tutorial where I'm actually going to be explaining variable at glance. Have fun. Voila.